Tempt. Romance audiobooks. A safe place to explore your dreams.
Chapter 1. Bree. 10 minutes. That's all I have to survive, and I'll finally be able to clock out. At this point in the night, my eyes are blurring, and it's all I can do to keep moving from customer to customer without falling asleep. The clicking of the clock's hands echoes as my heartbeat pulses through my temples. A headache has been brewing behind my eyes for the last hour, and the glow of the service screen is doing nothing to help with the pain. Why did I choose to work at a call center? I hate people. Mr. Flerson, that promotion will be good for 18 months at a 0% interest rate. That gives you until May 2nd to pay it off without incurring any interest charges. I rattle off before finishing the last dredges of my warm 2 hours ago coffee. No, sir, you won't pay $1 of interest if you pay it off by that date. I clarify as calmly as I can while rolling my eyes for the third time this call. I adjust in my seat. My back's still aching from my morning workout, and my legs are stiff from sitting for so long. If I didn't know any better, I would think my roommate was trying to torture me with this new weight training routine. Who gets up early and wants to work out? My name certainly isn't on that list. And yet, the ache in my quads continues to distract me as I stretch, rolling my ankles under my cubicle in search of some relief. Was there anything else I can assist you with today, Mr. Flerson? I pause. No, thank you so much for calling, and have a great night. I finish as sweetly as I can muster, under the circumstances. I've been on this call with him for over 20 minutes. This one call will bump my average for the entire day. I'm sure of it. Did you finally get rid of him? My coworker Cynthia asks, leaning back around her cubicle, salt and pepper hair falling into her tired brown eyes. Yeah, thank goodness we aren't slammed. The last thing I need is Steven breathing down my neck about call times tonight, especially after I did him a favor by taking the extra shift last minute. I complain, rubbing my eyes so I can focus on the notes I have to enter into the account. On days like today, I wish I had a strong backbone. I wanted to say no. Hell, I needed to say no after the week I've had. But here I am, covering anyway. Thankfully, I'm finally done. I sigh while disconnecting from the servers and hanging up my headset for the night. I roll back my chair, looking over my area to be sure I have everything to head out. My cubicle doesn't contain much. A few bright photos of me with my closest friends after graduation on our We Did It road trip before college, a small oscillating fan, Post-it notes with reminders for updates to our products, and of course, a small candy dish now looking pitifully lacking. I make a mental note to pick up a new bag before Monday. Keith, the late-night IT manager and one of my closest friends, saunters over, appearing unaffected by the late hour.
You ladies headed out for tonight?
He asks, his voice deep and smooth as he runs his fingers through the tuft of his disheveled dirty blonde hair. Oh, yes. Cynthia chirps a little too enthusiastically, lighting up at his attention. It's time to get back to the house so I can get a bit of sleep before the kids are up for school tomorrow. She smiles and shifts her attention to me. Want me to wait for you, Bree? She asks, already shuffling herself toward the exit. Deep down, Cynthia still believes Keith and I'll end up together, contrary to my constant rebuke and denial. No, thank you though. I'll see you Monday. I answer as she heads for the door, winking as she glances over her shoulder, with a mischievous sparkle in her eye. I love working with Cynthia. At 48, she has a big laugh and a wilder imagination. She's always spilling gossip about the associates on the floor, and making stories out of rumors she hears. There's never a dull moment, and it's nice to have a mom's perspective every once in a while, especially since that particular role is vacant in my life.
You and Liv going out tonight?
Keith asks, pulling my attention to him as he tilts his head to the side. I sit there, analyzing him as he leans lazily over the cubicle divider. Keith's 24 and good-looking with his wild sunshine hair, deep almond eyes, and dark-rimmed glasses, but his height attracts most girls. Well, that and his infinite charm. Keith has an ease about him that makes you feel comfortable, despite him towering over most of those around him. Coming in at just over 6'4", he's a complete waste of height due to his lack of coordination and non-existent competitive drive. In high school, all the coaches threw themselves at him, always explaining they could coach him up to his height. They always ended up disappointed when Keith refused to be their puppet. Keith wasn't a team sports kind of guy. He was a loner until he befriended me, and later Liv. Keith likes technology more than people, and he's always messing around on the computer. He has saved me and my laptop on more than one occasion from some virus or cookie threatening to lock my system out. I wasn't surprised when he took an IT position here, and was able to quickly move his way up to manager within the department. He got me this job 2 years ago, as a way to earn some income over minimum wage while I finished my bachelor's degree at UNLV. Unfortunately, I couldn't work with him because of my lack of technical skills, and was moved to customer service instead. When I met Keith for the first time, I was 10. He was 13 and was the new nerdy kid who moved into the apartments across from my foster family. He was the first person I spoke to after my brother died, and even then, it had taken him weeks to get anything out of me. He would pester me with questions I would never answer, until finally we bonded over which ice cream truck treat was the best. Bomb Pops, of course. No contest. Not that I could afford them, but those were Sammy's favorite, so now they are mine. Keith's a tech wizard with an incredibly sophisticated brain and a witty, dry sense of humor. You can never play Jeopardy or Trivial Pursuit against him, because he knows more useless facts than I ever thought possible, but he isn't cocky about it. Keith became the big brother I never got to have. He's the reason I had a home-cooked meal most nights in my preteens. I never said anything, but somehow he always knew when things got bad for me at the foster home, and would force me to come over to his house for dinner, under the guise of schoolwork or some elaborate scheme he was working up. He's the human equivalent of a golden retriever, all jolly and affable. Even his head tilt right now reminds me of those dog videos. You and I both know I'm off to bed. Liv had me up at 7 this morning with some new butt-defining HIIT workout. I'm too old to be up this late. I pout, knowing full well that at only 21, I should be living the Vegas life, going to clubs and bars and hanging out with friends. Unfortunately, finishing school so I can choose my future and carve my path is too important to me.
Old? No. These are your party years. You'll look back in 20 years and wish you slept less.
He replies, only half serious in his dismay. He's one to talk. He never partied while he was in school. He only ever hung out with Liv and me, and did side jobs for his school friends as a way to earn some extra money around his class schedule. That said, he did take home his fair share of one-night stands that wished they could be more, but he hadn't found his match or anyone who could hold his attention for long. I'll be happy to get right on that as soon as I hibernate for 12 hours. This is my second double this week, and I have 2 papers due before my class on Monday. I retort while stifling a yawn and grabbing my oversized bag full of schoolwork, textbooks, notes, and my purse before heading toward the parking lot. You coming to Liv's birthday party tomorrow night? I shout over my shoulder, slowing down a step to hear his response. She swears it won't be a big thing, but knowing her, half the school will show up. I continue, rolling my eyes dramatically. Liv has been my friend since the first day of middle school. We couldn't be any more different, but the duality of our friendship makes us work. She makes me more outgoing and spontaneous, and I make her more responsible and focused. At least that's what I tell myself. She's the rich to my poor, the light to my dark, the sparkle to my snark, and the only reason I stuck around this crazy city after high school when everything in me wanted to take off and get as far away as I could. College was never a possibility in my world. As far as I knew, no one in my family had ever gone to college. Liv opened my eyes to how the other half lived. A whole group of middle and upper class people believed that college was the only way to be successful. And at a time when all I wanted was to not end up an addict like Elaine, my mother, I bought right in.
Yeah, I'll be there.
He replies, turning to head back to his office on the far side of the room.
But if she tries to set me up with another one of her sorority friends, I'll leave and take the good liquor with me. And maybe the sorority friend too.
He sends me off with a wink and a wave over his shoulder. I laugh out loud as I push through the employee entrance doors, heading out to a nearly pitch-black evening, smiling a little to myself because I know Liv already has someone in mind. She's always trying to set him up. Liv fails to realize that Keith needs someone bright who can battle him intellectually, and, no offense to Liv, her sorority friends aren't even close. At least he's a good sport about it. Plus, it gets him laid from time to time, which keeps him from being a cranky asshole. Win-win. The wind whistles between the buildings, sending loose trash swirling at their bases within the industrial complex. My hair blows around erratically, tangling and crossing my face. I try tucking the strands behind my ears while juggling my now empty Death Before Decaf coffee cup, large Harry Potter school bag, and wraparound purse without any success. The sound of my footsteps is lost in the gusts as clouds blanket the sky, holding in the city light and causing a soft ambient glow. A few struggling parking lamps flicker in the distance, illuminating a handful of beat-up cars parked in the lot. Headlights wash over me, blinding me for a moment, and I lift my arm to wave at Cynthia's dusty white minivan as she passes, heading home for the night. I turn back toward the lot. My blue 12-year-old Kia sits parked near the corner. I can't wait to finish school. I tug my jacket closed with no available hands and eye my deteriorating transportation. Once I do, I can finally upgrade this old POS. Honestly, it's surprising that thing still runs. Save for a few chips in the royal blue paint and a barely noticeable dent in the front bumper, which honestly wasn't entirely my fault. But try telling a police officer that your fries fell over and you were reaching for them. See how far that gets you. She's perfect. She isn't sleek or modern, but she's mine. She gets me where I need to go. I juggle my coffee cup into my teeth while reaching for the door handle and climb in, hefting my oversized school bag onto the passenger seat littered with various detritus. Old mail, a rogue hair tie, a long-since-emptied coffee cup, notes from my marketing class, a hammer with a pink handle from an old tool set. I have a bit of everything, because you never know what you might need. At least that's my retort if anyone makes a snide comment about me needing to clean the thing out. I dig through my purse for my phone, hoping to throw it on the charger. It's constantly dying, and I need some charge to call Liv on my way home. The wind blows everything around, causing my long brown hair to tangle and block my face. I close my door to shut off airflow and grab my rogue hair tie from my passenger seat floor. Point for organized chaos. And tie a messy bun on my head. A resounding metal-on-metal bang pulls my attention to the left, to the far end of the lot that backs up to an abandoned-looking warehouse, one building over from the call center. I turn to see what the commotion's all about. I can just make out a handful of oversized men dressed in dark clothing, engaging in what appears to be a heated discussion near the back corner of the warehouse. Two men stand with their backs to the warehouse, just outside its delivery door facing me. The shadows from the lights on the building nearby obscure their features. On the other side, two additional men stand with their backs to me, slightly shrouded by a dark SUV. One holds an aluminum bat at arm's length and has apparently just struck the dumpster to his left. That answers my first question regarding the loud bang. A third guy, who might be the driver of the SUV, stands with the largest security dog I've ever seen. Both appear to be scanning the area on high alert and are ready to cut ties at any moment. It makes me wonder what they could be arguing about in a back alley warehouse district this late on a Friday night. I reach for my phone, finally locating it in the deep fathoms and folds. I open my camera app, flip to the video setting, and turn off the flash before pressing record and holding on to hope that it has enough battery to get this fight. Imagine the YouTube gold, a bunch of beefed-up gangsters getting into a street fight. Through my cracked window over the wind, I faintly hear the argument growing heated, and then suddenly one of the guys, opposite the big slugger, pulls out a gun. The flash of silver startles me. I feel like I'm watching a crime documentary in real time, and thanks to the copious amounts of Dateline Live binged over the summer, I know this won't end well for anyone. I find myself holding my breath, absent-mindedly digging in my bag for my keys with my non-filming hand. The need to get out of this area tugs at me, but my eyes and the iPhone camera are locked intently on the scene unfolding. My heart races, thumping loudly in my ears as Batman and his Viking friend bravely, or maybe stupidly, puff their chests simultaneously while backing away from the new threat. The security dog, God, that thing is gigantic, snarls, padding closer to the danger. Batman walks to the trunk, reaches in, and tosses a gym bag at the gunman's feet, leaving the bat half sticking out. The gunman drops his gaze to the offering before flicking his eyes back to his opponent, his lips in a curling up vicious sneer. A deep sense of hatred emanates from him before he lifts his weapon. Bang, bang, bang. Gunshots ring out and echo off the walls surrounding the lot. A scream escapes my mouth. My hand, dropping my keys in my lap, covers it a moment too late. Time stands still for a fraction of a second while the Viking starts to fall. Then, all at once, the giant wolf dog leaps at the gunman. All the other men dive for cover and weapons. Then, all hell breaks loose.
You can listen to the rest of the book in the Tempt Romance audiobooks app, available on the App Store and Google Play. The link to the book is in the description. Discover even more bestsellers and exclusive stories updated weekly, only in Tempt Romance audiobooks.